Hey, quick disclaimer. So, this is our first episode, and oh, by the way, this is Dominique's, but this is our first episode, and our first two episodes are not amazing. I mean, one, I know Keely's mic was messed up, and I have already rectified that situation for all of the future episodes, I hope. And I was talking really fast, and there wasn't as much of an order of discussion as I wanted it to be. So please, 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 just bear with us. Listen to this episode, listen to episode 3, and I promise you it is going to get better. This is a journey for us, and we're very excited to be on it. So bear with us and stick through the bad times to get to the good times. So stay tuned for the episode. Hey everyone, it's Dominique.
And it's Keely.
And you are listening to Booktrospective. So this week we are going to be reviewing Twisted Love by Ana Huang. I had already read it, so it was a reread for me, but it was Keely's first time, and it seems like she liked it.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk. I got to introduce something to her, so I was like, okay, I'm cool. So we are going to go over that today. So this is our first review episode, so we kind of have a format we think for it, but bear with us, it could change. But before that, we'll probably just talk about ourselves a little bit, because why not? Keely, how has your week been?
My week's been okay, a little slow. Excited about, it being Sunday, although tomorrow's Monday, but, Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays are my weekends, so...
Yeah, I mean, I work Saturdays, so it is nice. And Monday, I work tomorrow, but not really, so it's like my preparation for the week. So I didn't say this in the intro. I am a nurse practitioner, but I also teach nursing school, so I get to go to clinicals with the students, which means I have to be there at 5:30, 3 days a week. And although I'm not, like, physically working, like, on the floor as a nurse, it's still, like, early and, so I'm not prepared. But otherwise, I mean, my week was pretty good. It was the first week of classes for them. So just kind of getting back into the swing. Like I was off from that job all summer. I was just living my life. And I'm not ready. So, but I was looking forward to this because this is our first time recording for the podcast. I'm just so excited to see where this goes and kind of get started. So if you could summarize Twisted Love in like one word or one sentence, what would you think?
Ooh. In one word, I would say surprising.
Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think too. I love this book, so I'm going to say that before, but they are a little toxic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with toxic, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because, again, I am Delulu. I love good toxic. I mean, that's what we read it for. I don't need it in my life, but
right.
if you are a Damon and Elena girl, we like a little toxicity sometimes. So I'm going to use that word in a positive manner. Just like a general spoiler-free summary. So Twisted Love follows really two characters. This is the first book of a 4-book series. So a lot of the characters that we see are reintroduced in their own books. So we're not going to talk too much about them. We're going to fan cast our main two characters, but we're not going to do the others because maybe, hopefully, one day we'll get to their books. But this book follows Ava and Alex. It's kind of a grumpy sunshine trope. It's the brother's best friend trope. I'm trying to think like what other tropes. I don't know. I can't think of what other tropes there are, but essentially Alex is Ava's brother's best friend. The brother asks Alex to watch after Ava, even though they're adults. And, he's grumpy. She's a sunshine. That kind of builds their relationship, and it is a love story. It is a little smutty if you haven't read a smut book, so there is some of that. And essentially Ava has some PTSD from some life situations. Alex has a hidden backstory that Ava and her brother weren't aware of, so that all kind of comes to a head, and Alex essentially has to fight for Ava's love in the end of everything. Is there anything to add to that was kind of spoiler free?
Well, it ties into my one word, it is much more than just, a smut book. There's such a deep story to it, too, so.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. So if you have already read this book, or if you don't care about spoilers, then keep listening. If not, read it and come back and listen to this episode, because we are going to talk about it. Let's kind of get started. So Ava Chen. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so funny. Our lead character is, and so is Ana Huang, I believe. I think she's Asian American. And it's just funny, Ava Chen. I feel like that was like a stereotypical last name. But Ava is a photographer student. She's in college. I don't remember what the name of their college is. Yeah. It's a fake college. It's basically like outside of Washington, D.C. And she was doing some like photo shoot out in like the woods. Doesn't get a ride back. It's our training. And her brother Josh is a medical student. He's going to somewhere. He's going out of the country to do kind of like a, what would you call it? Not an internship. What do you call that? Like a mission trip almost.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. And he's having a party and she's like, I'm going to be late. So who does Josh send to pick her up but Alex? Ava is described to us as being like bubbly. She's like never had a bad day kind of thing, even though she has. Naive, definitely. She's 21. Are they all 21 in this book? I feel like they go out drinking. So I think they're all at least 21. So she is not like 18, but Alex is older. He's already graduated college. He's in med school. So he's probably like 25, 26 or something. And he's very protective, which we'll see why, but he's very protective of Ava. And so he really has like one best friend, which is Alex. Alex was his roommate when they started school. And of course, I mean, this is like, it is a smut book. It is, romance. So our male lead is, there's nothing wrong with him. There is, but like, of course, he's like handsome. He's like huge and built. He drives nice cars. He's the CEO of his company. Alex is literally like an evil genius. I can't remember what the condition's called in the book, but he has some condition where it's not photographic memory, but he literally can't forget anything that he's ever experienced. Every memory he has, he can't, even if he wants to, he can't forget it. Alex comes and picks up Ava and he's annoyed because it's raining and like how dumb of her to be out in the middle of nowhere. She has to go pick up this cake for Josh. Of course, she was wearing like a white t-shirt and some like lacy red bra and she's soaked and he's like, I can see your bra. Like, he's so annoyed. What did you think in this beginning part when we're like meeting Alex and Ava?
Okay, so I'm a sucker for the grumpy sunshine. So right from the bat, I was like, okay, yes. Definitely could tell he was getting annoyed by Ava. And Ava was just so clueless. And I ate it up. I loved it.
I do too. I mean, I read these books in order, so this was the first one I read. I love Grumpy Sunshine too. I mean, I like a broody, like I like it. I don't know. Again, I said toxic because because in real life this is probably more of a toxic situation, but we can be delusional when we're reading. They both end up at the party. Alex, again, he's handsome, beautiful, rich, all the things. So, of course, like, there's girls at the party, like, throwing themselves. He's not interested because he's too cool for that. And he only, like, he doesn't date, of course. He doesn't date. He only, like, sleeps with women. He has a certain style we'll kind of get. And he's basically, like, Christian Grey-esque, but also an evil villain. Yeah. We find out Josh is like literally moved out. There's probably like a couch in there and some boxes. And he lives next door to Ava. It's like a duplex. Mm-hmm. So he basically is like, hey, Alex, you're the only person I trust, like in general, also that I trust not to sleep with my sister. And so he's like, I want you to watch Ava. Ava has an ex-boyfriend. I don't remember his name. It's really not important. But he cheated on her and he's kind of like pseudo-stalking her. Yeah. So I don't know. Ava needs a bodyguard, essentially. So Alex this is weird because I would not have done this. Alex lives in DC. Like, again, he's rich. He has super nice place. He moves into Josh's apartment.
Which
like,
is weird.
Why? He moves into the apartment. Ava's annoyed because she's like, I don't need a babysitter. But she sees this as like a challenge to win Alex over. I mean, they've been friends for years. So again, him and Josh were roommates when they went to college. This has to be like 6 or so years ago. Alex has been to their house for Thanksgiving or whatever. I mean, this is not a new friendship or relationship, but they just don't get along or something. So Ava and her friends, we have Bridget, who is a princess. We have Jules, who they describe as Jessica Rabbit. Stella, who is kind of like a content creator, Instagram kind of model-y kind of person. They are like, oh, let's play on all of his emotions. They're basically like, Alex doesn't have any emotions, so let's play on his emotions and get him, like, win him over.
Yeah, see if he'll react.
Yeah, which they do all kinds of weird stuff. So Ava makes him Ava bakes. Of course she does. She's a sunshine. But she makes him like the most disgusting. Was it like broccoli cookies?
Something
asparagus
like
cookies.
Asparagus, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she makes him these cookies to like want him to be like disgusted, and he eats them because of course he does. The man's a tank. I don't know. And like, so that's not working. There was Operation Sadness. She tries to get him to watch. I don't even know if it says what movie, but sad.
I think it was like Marley and Me or something.
Oh yeah,
one of the movies.
Marley and Me. She tries to get him to cry, which he's never going to do that. When they do this is only the second task, by the way. Does it rain or something? She falls asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she falls asleep at his house, and he's like thinking like, okay, Josh is not gonna like this, but I don't know why she couldn't go home. It's next door.
Right.
It's convenient. And so she falls asleep at the house. He's like, basically, there's budding feelings there that we know. Then there's like a school gala. And because Alex is an alumni and he's like rich and powerful and trying to take over the world, he's there. Ava's there. She's like dancing with the guy. And of course, he gets jealous. But she also runs into her ex. Is this where she runs into her ex? Mm-hmm. He's a creep. And Liam. I knew that was his name, but I was like, I don't want to say it and be wrong. He's there trying to like get her back, and she's not having it. So we kind of see Alex is like developing more than just like a protective babysitter. He's developing feelings for her. But we kind of learn after this point like her backstory. So Ava's mom has died. She committed suicide. But before that, Ava believes her mom tried to drown her. So Ava has like this intense fear of water, even to the point where like she wants to go to London really bad, but the thought of flying over that much water terrifies her. And that is stemmed from the whole thing with her mom. So that's kind of haunting her. Alex has also pissed off one of his exes around this time, and she pushes her into the pool. Like, okay, so of course the book makes this girl up to be super villain. I don't mean it was a horrible thing to do, but like she didn't know that the girl was had PTSD. But she pushes her into the pool. Of course, this girl also has like her family company, and Alex is like, I'm going to ruin your company. Mm-hmm. And he literally destroys this girl's company, all because the girl wanted to like be with Alex, and he is not giving her the time of day. He's with Ava, not dating yet, but he's hanging out with Ava, and she's jealous. And so she pushes the girl into the pool, and now Alex has to be super villain and get, what does he say throughout the book? He says something, vengeance.
Yes.
That he has to get vengeance. He literally wants vengeance. So we also have gotten a little bit of a backstory on Alex, who Alex Volkov is his full name. He's Russian. And he was raised by his uncle. Do you remember his name? I'll get to it. His uncle. And essentially, Alex watched his entire family be murdered. It was his parents and his sister. And so his uncle allegedly has found out he's been like preparing him his whole life to get vengeance on these killers for his family. And what we're going to find out is that supposedly Ava and Josh's dad, Alex believes, is the one who put the hit out on his parents. When Alex kind of like rescues Ava from the whole pool incident, they kiss, and it's weird for them because Alex is like, obviously, you're Josh's little sister. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. He literally picked me because I wouldn't sleep with you. And even though, like, Alex is already having strong, like, sexual desires for Ava, so they kind of, like, avoid each other for a little bit. Alex also volunteers himself to teach Ava to get over her fear. Of course, they go to a hotel. He rents up, they go to the hotel to swim, which they don't ever, like, get that far. They end up having sex. So that blows, like, the whole everything. And we find out that Alex is basically, he's kind of a dom. Ava is not a virgin, I don't believe, but she's not had like tons of experience, so this is new for her. Obviously, we're reading a book about the Roman story. They have intense attraction, everything's wonderful, sparks are flying, but they broke Josh's one rule, so we know that that's going to become an issue later. We get to Thanksgiving because we're, again, in a school semester, so it's around Thanksgiving, and they go to Alex and Josh's dad's house for Thanksgiving, and their dad is so Alex and Josh. Ava and Josh. They go to their dad's house and the dad is super weird. Like, did that
incredibly standoffish.
Yeah.
And just,
did you think anything about it? Like, before they give us like a fake, like, all these reasons?
I didn't think too deep into it. I just was like, oh, he's a
like
douche.
He sucks. They have a lake there, but that's not the same one.
No. But
the dad does have, like, water on his property. Yes. So, like, Ava comes, she's, like, basically every time she's around her dad, he is crappy to her. So she goes out, there's also water on this property, and she's basically starting to have, like, flashbacks of the drowning experience. And she starts to remember that her dad's ring, like, was coming to mind, which he's supposedly the one who found her when this all happened, ends up taking her, and that's why the mom committed suicide, and all of these things. That starts to come out, but eventually Ava realizes that her mom did not try to drown her, her dad did. And Ava is actually not his child. The mom had an affair or something. Yeah, and so was that why he tried to kill her?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so he tries to drown Ava, and did he kill the mom? I'm trying to recall, because I'm like, I can't, like, did he force her to, she overdose? Something like that.
Yes, I think it may have been because of him, though.
Yeah, I think he essentially has something to do with the mom dying as well. I'm trying to see. But also along with the drowning, Ava remembers that he also tried to suffocate her later in life. Like, after her mom's died, something happened at school, and she goes into his, like, office or something, and he basically, like, puts a pillow over her face and tries to suffocate her.
I think what happened is she drew a picture of him, like, saving her from the lake or something. And what saved her was Josh coming home from practice or something.
Yeah. And he tries to, like, it's so weird. Like, this guy is crazy. I mean, I understand, like, being upset that this wasn't actually your child, but murder's a little far. So Ava, remembers all this. She tells Alex, of course, again, Alex is a supervillain. He gets, I don't remember what the dad's name, Michael Chen. Yeah. He gets him to, like, come into the office, and basically he admits everything. And so, although this was not his original plan, this suffices for Alex, because, again, he has a vendetta against this guy. He believes that he is the one who put the hit out on the family. He admits it, and he's going to prison, and that's kind of, like, the end on Michael for right now. Josh basically, he finds out, but he wasn't mad at first. Like, not.
I think it was because he was so consumed with what was going on
with the dad.
That he wasn't really at first concerned about.
It was more like he couldn't believe that his dad would do it. And so, like, at this point, like, Josh writes his dad off, which, again, we'll get to those books later, and that comes back later in the series. Ava's story is kind of, like, wrapped up on as far as her, like, backstory. So now we're turning to Alex. So again, Alex's uncle Ivan is the one who raised him. That's what it is. And Ivan's been weird. Like, okay, Alex is the CEO of his company, but Ivan's on the board, and so, like, he kind of has control. I don't know. He's being weird. So Alex has been doing some, like, investigative work, and he goes to Ivan's house. Who would realize this? He goes to Ivan's house. He's, like, kind of looking around. He goes in, like, the study. And he's like, oh, these outlets are too close to each other. or too far apart. I don't know. It's like something I would never notice. So he finds a fake outlet. He finds these letters. Is it from the mom or to the mom?
To the mom, I think.
Yeah, it's like letters Ivan wrote to Alex's mom. Like, basically, he was in love with her mom, and Alex basically puts it all together that Ivan is the one who had his parents and sister killed, and Alex was supposed to die. He was actually just hiding, like, in a fake fireplace or something. The whole family was supposed to die, but essentially the uncle has their family murdered because he was in love with the mom, and
she wouldn't give him the time of day.
Yeah, she would not be with him because she's with his brother, and then he basically let Alex believe that Uncle Chen did it. Alex, he's coming up with a plan. At this point, something has happened with, like, him and Ava. They break, like, they're kind of on the rocks, and she's at the apartment one day, and the uncle comes because he was, like, kind of trying to poison his uncle. And, like, Ava, like, would not leave. So this is when we have, like, an introduction of Ava to the uncle, which is going to come back in a moment, because they're, like, on the outs, and again, Ava has a best friend, Bridget, and she's a princess. So she has a new security guard who will not let her do anything. They have, like, this big idea one night. They're like, oh, we're going to sneak out and go to a concert. And they do, and they get kidnapped by the uncle. Alex's uncle kidnaps them, and he basically has to find them. When he does, he has to pretend like he doesn't like Ava. And, of course, the whole story gets exposed to Ava that he only was in their life because he was trying to kill Michael Chen and all of these things. So obviously Ava's hurt. Alex ends up killing the uncle, and the uncle had, like, somebody else that kidnapped them, and he, like, tortures that guy. He, like, kills the uncle, like, basically he's been poisoning the uncle. He was going to die anyway. And he tells him, he's like, well, I could give you, like, the cure, and then he kills him, but then he, like, skins the guy. I don't know. He tortures the guy because he touched Ava. He, like, physically put hands on her because they're, like, a little roughed up. Her and Bridget are, they have, like, zip ties or something on them, so they're pretty roughed up, and he was not having it. And so then he, like, sets fire to the uncle's estate, and because Alex is a supervillain, he has fake police come. I love this so much. I'm like, this toxic, and I want it in my delusional life. Alex pretends to have, like, police, ambulance, all these people come. Ava's, like, talking to them, and then, but what it really is he has, like, some way to intercept 911 calls. And so, like, the police have no idea that this has even happened. And he has, like, burnt down his uncle's estate with his uncle and the other guy's body inside. And no one will ever know. But, again, because he had to, like, when his uncle was, like, questioning him and he was trying to get him free, he had to act like, I don't care about Ava. This was all a means to an end. And because this is a book and they can't just communicate like healthy adults, Ava is brokenhearted and she leaves. So they break up, and Ava, prior to their breakup, has won an internship, and it was going to be in New York. They were going to be all happy, but because she's, one, kind of conquered her fear of water, and two, because of the breakup, she's going to London. That's where she's always, and it's like a year-long, kind of like it's an externship. So it's like a year long. So they've been broken up for a little while. Bridget comes to Alex and is like, look, I get, like, you like her. Like, we can tell. And if you want to try and fix it, she's going to be, she's leaving in an hour. Which, at that point, Ava has already gotten her seat. Like, there was literally nothing he was going to do. But, like, because, like, Bridget, really, like, you're funny. So he, of course, runs to the airport, and she's gone. So what does Alex do? He proceeds to go to London and stalk her for the next year. And again, toxic, and I like it. So he basically, when his uncle mysteriously died, he became, like, all head of his company. Even though he was running it, his uncle was a figurehead. So when he decides to chase after Ava, he steps down, which, like, drops, like, stock. I don't know. Like, Alex leaving literally, like, tanked the world. So, but he doesn't care. He shows up, and he's literally like, I'm going to be here at every turn. And she's like, please go away. He, like, sits outside of, like, her internship or whatever, like, across the street, like, on the corner, by, like, a light post. And he's, like, outside of her apartment. He's buying her gifts. She gives them back.
Intimidating every guy that comes close to her.
Because, I mean, he's a big guy. Like, yeah, he's a big guy. So basically, he just wears her down. In a surprise move, Ava, like, at her there's not a graduation, but, like, their finishing thing, they have, like, an art exposition, and basically like the equivalent of National Geographic is like, hey, we want you to shoot for us. It's like a big thing. They're like, oh, someone bought all of your shots. And she is like, who? Ava. You know who. So it's Alex, obviously. And so she's like looking for him. And at this point, at the end of her 1 year, of course, one of her classmates is like, hey, do you want to go out? Like, she's not really picking up what he's putting down. He's trying to like go out. Somebody gets on the mic and is like, I want to sing and dedicate this song. Alex Volkov, you guys. Of course he's an amazing singer because why not? Why not? So he gets up there, he sings, then he disappears. She's looking for him. Of course, when the classmates trying to ask her out, he shows up and he scares this guy probably half to death, and they have sex in this art gallery. So that's kind of where the book ends. And there are like, I just thought of like a million things I forgot. Like I forgot about I forgot about in the beginning when she's like doing the photo shoot with her friend. And she's like,
oh yeah, I completely forgot about that too.
Yeah, so there's a part in the beginning because again, I'll get better at this as we go along. But in the like beginning of their babysitter relationship, Ava like is not answering her phone. Alex is like, where is she? He goes to Jules, which is her Jessica Rabbit friend, and she's like, oh, I don't know, she's probably with a friend. And Jules, of course, is down for this whole thing because she knows like she's a shit starter. So Alex like shows up at this person's house. Ava's in lingerie doing a shoot because she's a photography student. Alex breaks the guy's camera. He's like, if you ever want to live a life ever again, you will delete these. Like, that happens. And then there's one other thing that I just thought of that happens. Shoot, what is it? Oh, at the restaurant when he was, like, dealing with his uncle and he wasn't answering his phone. Yeah. And the waiter comes over because Ava, or no, it was some guy was like, will you take our pictures for our
engagement?
Yeah, and Alex is like, and Ava's like, first of all, I've been calling you for an hour. I've been sitting at this restaurant. You're not answering. And then you come in here and act like a psycho. But again, so that's Ava and Alex. So Ava, again, sunshine, naive. I think of her as like this little petite thing, little girl. And Alex is like this like big, huge, scary Russian villain man who is a teddy bear only for Ava and will literally burn the world for you, which again, all of my delusional friends out there, we love that. So what would you rate Twisted Love? I know you already have, but you can tell the podcast.
Yeah, so as I've mentioned to Dominique before, I am a generous rater, so I rated it 5 stars.
Yes.
I absolutely adored this book.
Yeah, I have a couple ratings. So, like, first time reading it, it's 5 out of 5. Now, because I've read the rest of the series, I would give this a 4 to 4.5, only because I have another favorite. Mm-hmm. But I know that there's problems in this book. There's problems in every book. I don't rate books, like, because of that. Like, did I enjoy this book? Honestly, to me, there's only, like, 1s, 4s, and 5s.
Right.
So, yeah, I loved it. I read the rest of the series after this, and so it definitely is a good intro. I love romance, so this was right in my, like, wheelhouse of what I wanted to read. So, fan cast. Okay, so who do you picture as Ava?
Okay, so obviously, like, age them down to what the appropriate age.
Yes. But
I see Ava as Brenda Song.
Oh, that is perfect because, okay, if you don't know Brenda Song, if you haven't watched Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, I can't remember, what's her name on there? I can't think.
London Tipton.
Yes, that is Brenda Song. Also, she's like dating Macaulay Culkin now.
Yeah.
Or no, they're like together.
Yeah.
They had a baby or something, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah, like it's serious. That is perfect. She was perfect for that. I went with, what's her name? Lara? No. What's her real name? Lana.
Yes,
Condor.
yes, I know who you're
from, what's the...
All the Boys I've Loved Before?
Yeah, To All the Boys I've Loved. Mm-hmm. Yes. So if you've watched that on Netflix, I was trying to go like someone like one, it's like kind of small because she's like short and like naive, like just, you know. So I think those are cool. Those are good. That's really good. Brenda Song is really good. Who did you picture as your Alex?
So I pictured Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah, he would be a good one. He's huge. You're like, big. So I actually went, I'm going to seem like I have no imagination, but I went with Alex Skarsgård, like a younger, like a True Blood version of him, because he's like big and intimidating. Yeah, I think he would be great. So we're not going to fan cast the other characters because, again, we hope to do those books at some time, but that's who I see. So we have a couple books on our roster. We're going to figure out for sure which ones are going to be. But I know the next 3 books that we'll cover is we have Spare by Prince Harry.
We have Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance by Ruth Emmy Lang.
And then we have Girls. Yes. Final Girls by Riley Sager. So if you haven't gotten the chance to read any of those and you want to listen to the next episodes, those are going to be it. We're going to post like an order of the books shortly. So if you want to follow along, we are on Instagram at Booktrospective. We also have a TikTok at Booktrospective, but I can't promise how much we're going to be on there because we are a little way down when it comes to social media. But for sure, Instagram, because that'll be like our main hub. This podcast, you're obviously listening to it, but it's going to be available on Spotify and Apple, probably some others once I get up to speed on doing all of that. Leave us comments and reviews if you can. Make recommendations because we hope to do like a fan book or fan pick kind of book once a month. So, and we're always looking for new reads. So, anything else you want to add?
If you have any ideas of questions and stuff that you would like us to add in, yeah.
Okay. We'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.